or Sikh pilgrimages through that course of through that period, and he left back to Canada sometime in June. So that is the input that we have. That in 2018 he was. When Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had come to India at that time, Captain Arvinder Singh had handed over a list in which there were a lot of terrorists or people who were Khalistanis who were banned, who were living in Canada and who were acting against the interest of India. And Hardeep Singh Nijjar, the person who has also been called out by Ripudaman Malik, was part of that list. Now, further to the investigation details that we have and the intel note that we have accessed, this has all happened. That in this case of Ripudaman, he's the founder of the Khalsa Credit Union and also the Khalsa School. He started the Khalsa College and had invited the Akal Takht Jathedar for the event. But he was against the Jathedar making any comments against India. So that's where Ripudaman Malik started getting threats, and there were also threats to Ghirao and block and create problems. Now, Malik was very clear that he will not allow the Jathedar to use the school and the college stage to speak against India. He actually went ahead and did a talk show on Sanja TV with a journalist who goes with a journalist, and where he called out two people, Moninder Boyle and Hardeep Nijjar, and he called them bullish. Now, he made the same reference that he's made in this letter, where he said that people who are obviously working at the behest of some agencies of foreign government. This part that the intel note mentioned is also part of point 2 in his January 2022 letter. So clearly, there are the involvement of Khalistani elements. Now, this is what we are given to understand, that this letter dated the 17th of January, this actually made Ripudaman Malik perhaps an enemy in the eyes of those who are harboring and who are clearly trying to foster anti-India sentiment in the Sikh community in Canada. And this actually rattled them. Now, Hardeep Nijjar, now we are given to understand soon after this letter, on 23rd January, using a temple stage in Surrey, a Sikh temple stage, Guru Nanak Sikh temple stage in Surrey, Hardeep Nijjar actually spoke against Ripudaman Malik for over 1 hour. And he called him, quote-unquote, Qaum ka Gaddar, an agent, etc., calling upon the gathering to boycott Ripudaman Malik and teach him a lesson. And there are others who also launched a scathing campaign against Ripudaman Malik. They include Moninder Boyle, who was also mentioned by Ripudaman Malik, who said that they were being bullish. Gurpreet Singh Sahota, a journalist who's working for Satinder Pal Ging and Pari Dulai, again in Canada. So these are the allegations, and these are aspects of the intel note that we've got. Now, a few years ago, Ripudaman Malik had also started printing copies of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib after obtaining permission from the SGPC. Now, if there is a lot of information that is now coming out, but what stands out is, here is a Khalistani, an erstwhile individual who was banned from India, but this person has had a change of heart. He takes a position which says that this current government is actually working for the betterment and along with the Sikh community, and he has listed all the activities. He said that you have eliminated the blacklist of restricted visit to India of thousands of Sikhs, and granting passports and visas to asylees and their families, and reopening of hundreds of 1984 riots closed cases leading to conviction and jail term for some, declaring the 1984 riots as a genocide. So all of these aspects he has noted. He has also said opening of the Kartarpur corridor, and also and he's also picked up and said that celebrations of the 350th birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, 450th birth anniversary of Hind ki Chadar Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and last but not the least, recognizing the martyrdom of Shri Guru Gobind Ji's younger son Sahibzada Baba Zorawar Singh and Sahibzada Baba Fateh Singh, and declaring 26th December as Veer Bal Divas. So he has listed a lot of the initiatives taken by this government and said, I believe that you are working in the interest, and I'm trying to tell the community that this is a different government and we need to have a different consideration, and our outlook is different. But he's also said that there are those who are completely in the throes of foreign entities that want to bleed India, destabilize India, and create animosity among the Sikh community here against the rest of Indians. So this is something, and also try and sow seeds of secession. These are aspects that come out and then raise a huge number of questions on why are these elements being given a free run in Canada? Just the other day, we had the desecration of Mahatma Gandhi's statue. Again, Khalistanis were involved. We have, if you look at the Sidhu Moosewala murder, again the mastermind Goldie Barar is operating out of Canada. Where is the cooperation from the Canadian authorities in terms of cooperating with those who are working, who are using Canadian soil to work against Indian interests? We also saw these elements manifest again when the Hindu community turned around and said that the kind of behavior which is being displayed is wrong and there should be action taken. And we had the Hindu community coming out and standing up to certain calls and certain aspects which the Khalistanis and they were doing, targeting the Hindu community in Canada. So a lot of aspects that are coming to the fore. But with Ripudaman Malik, he is somebody who was blacklisted, somebody who's not just realized and had a change of heart, but somebody who was working towards further integration of the global Sikh community with India, and calling out those who are agents of a foreign entity, agents of an enemy, who are trying to destabilize India. This is where it stands in terms of the murder of Ripudaman Malik. And it's not just an ordinary murder. There is lots more that hinges on this. That's the big aspect that we are trying to put out here when we are sharing all these details with our viewers. Back to you.
Thank you, Anand, for bringing us all those details also mentioned in the letter as well. Let me quickly go back to Mr. Shashikant, who's also joining us on this newscast. Mr. Shashikant, you heard what Anand had to say. This, of course, the murder of Ripudaman Malik arrives as the last nail to the coffin as far as relations between India and Canada are concerned. We've also discussed at length how there's been this lack of effort on part of the Canadian government. Even though there was a thaw of relations when Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Justin Trudeau at the G7 summit, there was a new hope. It seemed like his government would take a stance against the Khalistanis in Canada, because there was a silent promise that had emerged from the summit, because we were told that even Indian Prime Minister had conveyed his thoughts to the Canadian Prime Minister as well. But how do you see things standing as of now with the murder or rather the heinous killing of Ripudaman Malik, a man who was trying to make a change to the Sikh community, not just in Canada, but in India as well?
Besides commenting on this, I'd just like to add a couple of sentences.
Right.
I just want to tell the viewers the way, in fact, was harassed by the Kenyan authorities at the border only because I have sought extradition of certain persons, drug smugglers from Canada, in my CWP 20359 of 2013, which is going on the High Court. They were mighty annoyed. They were mighty annoyed because I've been talking about it. They mentioned it. I've been talking about Palestine and Canada being a hub of drug smugglers, etc., etc. Leave that apart. Coming back to the subject, yes, whatever has been said by Mr. Narasimhan is absolutely correct. Maybe, I don't know whether there was a thaw between the relations between India and Canada, but somehow or the other, Canada has been a nursery for grooming pro-militants, and then drug smugglers, and like they themselves said that a good section of that our youth, they rank high on the list of the RCMP as far as all these activities are concerned. Now the murder of Ripudaman Singh has shown that they are gaining ground, and the Canadian government is just a mute spectator to there too. Do they think that the Indian government and India will just keep on sitting idle like this and permit a foreign country to interfere directly or indirectly in the sovereignty of our nation by way of a section which is trying to promote Khalistani and this smuggling of arms and drugs and all those things? I don't think Indian government has to take a stand. They have to take a stand, and they have.
Right.
And this is the ample proof, murder of Ripudaman Singh, the murder proof that these elements are gaining ground there day by day. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Shashikant, for sharing in your views with us. And with that, let's now shift our attention over to the other CNN News 18 exclusive. After the Patna police busted a semi-plot to create communal tension in Phulwari Sharif, the Bihar SDPI chief Mohammad Riaz, who has been named in the Patna police FIR, spoke exclusively to CNN News 18, claiming that the allegations against them are fake and that they will fight the case in court. 3 people have been arrested in the case, and it has been found that their apparent motive was to disrupt Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Bihar. Let's listen in to this exclusive conversation with Bihar SDPI chief.
जलालुद्दीन ने ये कहा है और अतर परवेज ने कि आप पटना आते थे और मीटिंग करते थे और लोगों को
पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का मीटिंग करते थे। पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का मीटिंग करने में हमारा संविधान में भी ये है उसको। हम सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का मीटिंग करते थे, पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज करते थे, उसके सिवा कुछ भी नहीं किया है हमने। जो कुछ एफआईआर में लिखा गया है वो पूरा झूठ इल्जाम है। वैसा एसडी पे कुछ भी नहीं किया है उधर।
आप पीएफआई के मेंबर नहीं है, ये कह रहे हैं आप?
पीएफआई का मेंबर हूँ लेकिन लीडर नहीं हूँ मैं।
आप पीएफआई के मेंबर हैं? कब से हैं?
हाँ, मेंबर है।
कब से हैं?
मैं तकरीबन 2005 से है।
तो यहाँ आप पटना आते थे मीटिंग अटेंड करने के लिए?
पीएफआई का मीटिंग नहीं, मैं एसडीपी का मीटिंग अटेंड करने के लिए आ रहा था।
6 और 7 जुलाई को जो मीटिंग हुई थी फुलवारी शरीफ में, उसमें आया था। जो एक डॉक्यूमेंट मिला है वो कहता है इंडिया 2047 टुवर्ड्स रूल ऑफ इस्लाम। इस डॉक्यूमेंट से वाकिफ हैं आप?
नहीं, वो झूठ है, मैं बोले ना।
उस फ्लैट से पीएफआई का फ्लैग मिला है, बुकलेट्स मिले हैं, उर्दू में डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिले हैं और ये डॉक्यूमेंट भी मिला है जिसमें इस्लामिक स्टेट बनाने की बात कही जा रही है।
उसके बारे में मुझे क्या भी आइडिया नहीं।
आप जलालुद्दीन को जानते थे ना? आप वहाँ जाते थे उनके घर?
नहीं जानता था।
तो आप पटना कहाँ पे आते थे? अख्तर
परवेज को जानता था।
आप वहाँ
हमारा सब्जी में हमारा ऑफिस है।
अहमद पैलेस जाते थे आप?
नहीं आते थे।
तो पटना में कहाँ पे जाते थे आप?
हमारा ऑफिस है पटना में, एसडीपी का ऑफिस। मैं राष्ट्रीय सचिव हूँ पार्टी का। मुझे बिहार इंचार्ज दिया है। बिहार का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन काम में मैं शामिल था, उतना ही।
My colleague Anand Narasimhan explains the contents of the document that show the PFI's plot for making India an Islamic state by 2047. Let's have a quick look.
Let's try and understand this in detail. What kind of stages are these people talking about? So understand the stages of progression. 2047 terror blueprint. This is the PFI handbook. Stage 1. Establish the presence in Muslim areas and unite Muslims. Repeatedly remind Indian Muslims of grievances. Focus on expanding and recruiting new members. And establish Islamic identity beyond the concept of Indian. Train recruits in use of swords, rods and weapons. This is the first stage. Let's come to stage 2. Stage 2 says mass mobilization under the leadership of the PFI. Use violence selectively to demonstrate strength. Limit exposure of trained cadre to security forces. Use concepts of constitution, Ambedkar, tricolor, national flag to hide Islamic agenda. Establish liaison with foreign Islamic nations for funding. Stage 3. Form close alliances with SC, ST, OBC groups. Focus on gathering 10% Muslims and 50% of the SC, ST, OBCs. Create a vote bank of Muslims and SC, ST, OBCs for elections. Create a divide between the RSS and the SC, ST, OBC groups. Discredit secular parties among Muslims and SC, ST, OBCs. Then, stage 4, gain political power at national level. Fill positions in the executive and judiciary with loyalists. Appoint loyalists to top posts in the army and police. Declare new constitution based on Islamic principles. Start systematic elimination of opponents. So even they are saying Muslim outfits, eradicate all of them. PFI should become the only dominant Muslim force, but more importantly, this is the agenda.
All right, for more details, let's quickly go across to Saurabh Rathore, who's joining us live from Patna and has been tracking the story very closely. Saurabh, why the denial coming from the SDPI chief in Bihar, considering there has been material evidence and very crucial material evidence like PFI flags also recovered, along with that huge amount of money that has been recovered from the house of Jalaluddin?
Before that, I would like to give a news. Tahir Ahmed, who is a home tutor and he was also from Fulwari, has been arrested by ATS. So we have said that the fifth also is being interrogated and soon the arrest will be made by ATS. So far 4 people have been arrested out of 26 who have been named in the FIR. And just now we got the information that a home tutor named Danish was arrested from Fulwari Sharif by ATS.
All right, and what is the...
Could you please repeat the question?
What is the charge against Danish Ahmed at the moment for his arrest? All right, and that's the big breaking we are bringing to you with regards to this case. 2 more suspects have been handed over to the ATS in the Bihar Simi plot case. And as Saurabh was just informing us, Danish Ahmed, one of the tutors, who was a home tutor in Bihar, has been arrested. He is the 4th arrest in this case. 2 more suspects have been handed over to the ATS in the Bihar plot case. Let me quickly go back to Saurabh for more details. Saurabh, if you could tell us more about these 2 more suspects who have been arrested, also throw light on the identity of Danish Ahmed.
Akansha, 2 persons named Shamim Akhtar and Shamir Malik. The ATS is interrogating these 2 people. The formal procedure of arresting has been done as far as Tahir Ahmed, that is Danish, alias Danish, is concerned. Danish is a home tutor and he has been arrested from his residence in Fulwari Sharif. Remember, Akansha, there are 26 persons who have been named in the FIR on grave charges and sections 121A, 120B, section 153, 153A and section 34 of IPC have been put on the FIR, which clearly shows, which clearly denotes that these are anti-national work was done by these people at Patna, and they were trying to wage war against the government.
All right, Saurabh, so for the benefit of our viewers, I'd just like to get some clarification from you. You've named Shamim Akhtar and Shamim Malik. These 2 suspects have been arrested by the ATS in Bihar, right?
No, Akansha, Danish is been arrested. The ATS is interrogating Shamim Akhtar
they are interrogating
and
Shamim Akhtar
Shabir.
and Shamim.
These 2 people are being interrogated, yes. Formal arrest has been, Danish is being arrested right now, who is a home tutor from Fulwari Sharif.
All right, and if you could tell us what are the charges against Danish?
See, Akansha, as I told you, there are several sections mentioned in the FIR, 121, 120B and 153 and 34. These all are anti, they were waging war against the government, creating communal hatred. These all charges are there in the FIR, in which 26 persons...
To some more breaking news coming in. There's big embarrassment for former CM Siddaramaiah. A woman has thrown away a relief amount of 2 lakh rupees. The former CM Siddaramaiah, who visited the hospital in Bagalkot district to meet injured people in Kerur clash, was embarrassed by this woman. Siddaramaiah, while leaving the venue, gave relief amount of 2 lakhs to Muslim woman, but angry woman threw the amount at Siddaramaiah. The angry woman alleged that politicians come for their own reason. These are the visuals that we are bringing to you of that angry woman throwing the cash away at Siddaramaiah. For more details, I have with us Ritu joining us live. Ritu, if you could tell us what exactly transpired.
Well, exactly, this is big embarrassment for the former CM Siddaramaiah, in fact, who was there in Bagalkot district today to meet the injured meet injured people in the scary crash. Now remember, just 10 days back that we saw the clash that was broken between the two communities, and then a later point again there was another clash that was broken between both the communities, and most of these Muslim people were being injured in the second thing. And now for which the former CM was there to meet these injured families and speak to them. While he was returning back and was about to sit in, and that's when he gave almost relief amount of 2 lakhs to this particular woman, and that is 2 lakhs amount that he had given to one lady and had was for the other ladies as well, for all that who were injured in the clash. But this angry lady, in fact, used that amount after his departure, and that is the anger that she had, saying that these politicians visit them only when they have their own reasons, fake reasons, in fact, for their own benefits, is something that the angry woman had to say. And later point also, she went on to mention that after this whole clash broke out, not once but twice, no other MLA or for that matter, any politician had come and visited them. And now there comes the CM Siddaramaiah all of a sudden meets them up with only the relief amount, which the woman says they do not require that amount at all. We are not here for the money. That's the kind of anger that this lady has it. But remember, the clash was very big clash that broke out just 10 days back, and just 10 days later you have this another incident to see.
Right. Also, could you tell us more about this visit by Siddaramaiah? Was visiting the hospital in Bagalkot district to meet the injured people during the clash that had taken place. Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, so as said, just 10 days back that we saw how there was a big clash that broke between the two communities, and there was a big vandalism that we got to see, where most of the cars, push cars, were set on fires, and vehicles too have been vandalized, and then in fact, but the clash that broke between the same community people, where the ones who have been injured previously in the first clash went on to vandalize and in fact attack these another set of people who had injured them, their group members, and now you see that as they met with that injuries, they were being admitted to the hospitals, and that's why Siddaramaiah, former CM Siddaramaiah, had to visit them, and this comes after a long time, is what the angry woman has to say. If you see, she says it's been a time that their husbands, in fact, have all met with an injury, and now.
All right, Ritu, stay with us because I'm also joined in by Mr. Tanveer Ahmed of JDS. Mr. Ahmed, what would you like to say? I mean, the visuals speak for themselves. Very dramatic visuals. The Muslim woman looking extremely angry, hurling that cash of 2 lakh rupees back at Siddaramaiah. What are your thoughts?
See, firstly, there are two aspects to it. The duty of a legislator, the duty of a chief minister, the duty of the police is to curb violence and to control law and order. It is not that you go and give money. But however, I can really understand the emotion of that woman because after clashes, after losing a lot of things, this kind of behavior is expected. But however, I don't want to really take a political dig at Siddaramaiah, because this is every politician does. Kumaraswamy went to every farmer when they committed suicide and paid everybody 1 lakh rupees each from his own pocket. So Siddaramaiah was trying to give an assistance to a woman. I don't think we need to really take a political pot shot on it.
No, but Mr. Ahmed, as a politician, would it be fair to say that all politicians do that henceforth? Siddaramaiah is also justified in providing cash, which is not really the need of the hour for that woman.
Absolutely, the need of the hour is to bring law and order situation into control, to really punish the people who are behind it. But